Off.
Something.
Morning. What up? Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. All my podcast people, I appreciate you guys rocking with us as well. Today we're about to have an amazing conversation. We're talking about leadership. Is everybody meant to lead? Is everybody meant to lead? And this is and you know me, I never steer the conversation in the obvious directions.
Right.
Blessings. What's up, Lisa? Great morning to you, my friend. Thank you so much for rocking with us and sharing is caring.
Thank you for
Appreciate
sharing.
you.
You rock.
I sent out a text to remind everybody about the broadcast, just to make things a little easier. Put the link on it.
Yeah.
You get that? Awesome. All right. So yeah, we're doing some big things. So make sure you
Moving right along.
Make sure you join our community if you're watching on replay. Text
Absolutely.
brothers to 84576 so you can be part of this live broadcast, because Facebook doesn't love me anymore. Straight up.
I don't know.
Period. My notifications aren't going out. I go in, I'm like, my people hardly seeing any video I put up, and it's driving me crazy. I'm not even tagging people. Like, I don't even get taggy. I don't get taggy crazy, Right. And then I taggy. I don't get all taggy. and then I took down. I stopped putting up. Like they tell you, don't put links up that can lead you outside Facebook. Took those. I stopped doing that. What's up, Mark? Good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for rocking with us.
You're sharing it, brother.
So I've kind of been trying to change to be Facebook friendly, but I get no love.
I'm telling you,
it's
man,
all good in the hood.
We're gonna have to jump platforms in a minute.
All right. Right.
I mean, I'm serious. I mean, especially with Periscope going away. I mean, I say you don't even have Periscope tag.
Oh yeah.
So people that follow us on Periscope.
I quit. I graduated. I told everybody my last. It's my last.
When you say that, I think about if everybody remembers A Different World. Remember that show? And when Dwayne was trying to join the fraternity with Ron,
okay,
and Dwayne quit. Dwayne said, "I quit. Well, nothing else to do with it. I quit. I'm out."
I remember that.
So when you said I quit, that's what I was thinking about. Hey, good morning to you, my dear. Glad you guys are aboard. Yes, I ain't wearing my Tampa Bay gear. I don't care what nobody say. No, I'm not a bandwagon fan. We'll let that go. So if Cole came here with that nonsense this morning, I got something for him.
You got some phone. I got some phone. All right. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to drop this intro. Give y'all a minute to share. Make sure you share. If you're on Facebook, make sure you share. Tag somebody.
Sure.
Tag somebody and say, you know what? They need to be in this conversation.
I'm telling you, I'm going to start tagging right now.
Right. Let's get it.
I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another edition. Good morning, everybody.
Right.
There we go. We hot in the building.
So it's been a minute. Terry, how's your week been going?
You know what, man? My week is my week. Pastor Brian's in here. My week is my week. This car sale game is crazy, man. Then
best in the building.
I'm in a whole different region. I need that, bro.
You guys.
I need that. And so it's just trying to adjust, bro, to the region. Selling cars in this region is a little different than selling them out in Idaho, but
is it easier or has it been more challenging?
I think people are more open out here versus Idaho, but be it that in the dealership that I'm at, everybody there is tenured. One guy has been there for 20 years. Another guy's been there for I think 10. The lady's been there for 5. I mean, so they have clientele. So me that I don't have any clientele, I have to wait for leads or people that walk up on the lot And so with the weather as being what it was, cold, snowy, people are not coming out. So for me, I get a lot of downtime. But
I get you. Real quick before we get into our topic, I know this is just a sidetrack, just a little car sales insight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would, like, if you sold me a car, right? What's the turnaround? I guess it's more referral, or like you sold me a car, because the next time I get a car, maybe like 2 to 5 years, depending on how much I take care of my car and how much I'm gonna just run my car into the ground before I get me another car, or depending on what kind of car I got. Some may run 10 years. The next time I'm actually come in there, like how do you build the clientele that comes back frequent enough that it,
Well, the first thing that we have to do as salespeople is that we have to give them an experience. Right. So it's not about just selling a car. So it's going to be an experience. Even if I sold a car to one of you guys down here in Georgia, it's an experience. It's how you would treat it over the phone. It's how you treat it with paperwork. It was
you better talk, man.
So it's about how you. It's not just selling.
It's not the car. They can buy a car anywhere. They are there for you.
An experience.
Right. I got you.
When I was out in Idaho, I sold a Suburban to a lady.
Right.
We had to go we ordered it. That thing was $82,500. You know what I did with that Suburban? I put that Suburban on the showroom floor. I put balloons on it. I had a red carpet go from the door to the side door of the Suburban. So it's not about the vehicle. I mean, like Pastor said, you can buy that vehicle anywhere. But the fact that she remembered the fact that I had a red carpet and that she had balloons on the showroom floor. I moved cars out of the showroom to put her car in there. So it's an experience. That's what it is. And so that's what people remember.
And then they refer people. You saw referrals. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
That's when you tend to
he'll do you right. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah. I got you. Because I mean, I think that's always been my issue with thinking about buying a car online. Like, I'm spending that kind of money. I need somebody to look at me, smile at me, and tell me I'm great. I'm the bomb. You the man for buying this car.
See, I don't need all that. See, I'm like, just give me my car. I just want my car.
I'm driving too much money. I need celebration. I need celebration. I need a shout out.
When all he wants to do is buy a car. Carvana is what he want to do. I mean, because he doesn't want to care about all that. And a lot of people that don't.
I don't need you hustling me. That's the only thing I don't like. Sometimes the dealership, you feel like you're being hustled. Once we get past the hustle, I done signed the paperwork, then give you a check. Yeah. I need you to celebrate. Woo, woo, my man in the building.
One thing about people, I'm a customer too.
That's so cool. Good morning.
One thing I don't want to be is in any sales situation is to be sold. Don't sell me.
Right.
By the time I walk in the lot, I already know what I want.
Gotcha.
I need you to sell me. I need you to give me an experience. I need for you to. What's up, Jay? I need for you to let me know that I'm not making a dumb mistake by buying this car.
Right. That's the thing, right? People, but they won't. Most of the time, people aren't honest like that with you. Yes, make sure the gas tank is full. Make sure the car, and even this is what I tell people. Whether you're buying a brand new car or whether you're buying a used car,
right?
Make sure the car is clean.
Right.
Treat me like I'm buying a brand new car because the car is new to me.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
The car should be given to you in its best possible condition.
Right.
If you go into a legitimate sales lot.
Right.
Exactly. You know how many I couldn't tell you how many deals I've lost because the car was dirty.
Wow.
Right.
Because the porter, whoever does the lot, didn't do their job. I mean, because what happens on test drives, some people take cars on extended test drives. We had one truck, if I remember correctly, we had one truck that the guy had it overnight. He had it overnight. He brought it back. It was he wanted to see how he wanted to tow how it. He wanted to see how it towed. He wanted to see he went camping. He wanted to, and so he brought it back. I mean, the car was outside, of course, was filthy, but inside he had, snack wrappers. He had some.
I gotta have a good time with this. I gotta have a good time.
He had some little girls bra in there. I mean, it was a mess. I mean, it was a total mess. Jeans, you name it.
You said bra?
Yeah. Well, y'all do the most. Y'all Now, that was not
test drive.
That was not Idaho. I mean, he had overnight, so I guess he had a little, and so they bring it back. Instead of them running it through detail, washing it and running through detail, they just bring it back and put it back on the lot.
Wow.
So I had a customer come in, wanted the truck, looked at it and was like, yeah, we're gonna go down here because there's a bra in your truck.
Yeah.
Wow. What? So I lost a lot of deals that way. So yeah.
Sorry, your sales people out here committing some shenanigans.
Yeah, right. That wasn't the woman he brought in here.
That was a free. That was a free rental.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. My wife walked away from a deal because the car was dirty. My Lady McCrory walked away from a deal because nice car, nice Audi. She walked away from it because the car was dirty.
Wow. We have to make sure we wash it.
Yeah. I'm like, remember, the car drives fine. It's a great car. She goes, yeah, but it's dirty. I'm like, the car can be washed. She said, well, they should have washed it before I got here.
Yeah.
Should have.
Yeah. And see, there's a word in there somewhere. That's a word right there. There's a sermon right there.
It's called I'm paying for the car anyway. Don't I have to like it too?
I gotta like it too.
All right, hold on. We had a story real quick. All right, when I had a charge, when I had my Charger, I had no intention of getting that. I was prepared to get a small Chrysler. The salesman asked what my current car was, read my personality, had me go outside because he had something for me, which is a Charger with 20-inch rims. Like,
wow, he put it on you. He put it on you. He put it on you. That's your past.
That's a big guy in a little coat.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm telling you,
that kind of little coat.
I got this Charger. It got some 20s on it, and they clean.
Right.
Yes, Cole. I understand that that's a woman thing, Cole. I get it. But for the guy, that was a nice looking Audi.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
because you're right. We were like, we probably see it a little dirty, but then we can get over some things. We're like, you know what? It's not bad. It drives. Pop that engine. It's not. The engine doesn't sound like it's cranking. Like the engine sounds good.
Look, what did that? What's his name? The singer, the gospel guy. Crumpled up the $20 bill. I don't care how dirty it is. It's still a 20.
Right. Still a 20. Yeah.
Still the same.
Value don't change.
Yeah, okay.
All right. I know we way off topic.
I just topic at hand. Yeah.
So today I put this topic up because I've been kind of thinking about this and the fact that we all
Ty Tribbett. Yeah.
Ty Tribbett. There you go.
It was Ty Tribbett. Yeah, he did do that.
Oh, we all.
Well, look at that bandwagon over there. He got a shirt and a hat.
Oh,
I bet you got receipts. I bet you got fresh receipts for it.
Please don't hate Dwayne. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna hate. I bet you got fresh receipts for it.
Hey, Dwayne, I'm gonna put you a knucklehead of the week this week if you don't hush.
Hey, Pastor, how long you had that cup? How long you had that cup, Pastor? For the last 10 years?
Probably about as long as we've had our rings.
Look, now ask Terry how long you had that.
Right.
After my boy
still got the tag on it.
And the bandwagon the flags are. Show do.
They got the tag on it.
Whatever you
Never even been to Florida.
He got cars to sell. He champions. They champions.
He got the keys.
I got drip for sale. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Cole, we were just trying to figure out how that truck tows. So now we know that tow truck a lot because this bandwagon is on.
You know what? Moving on. I say a bandwagon and a Cowboy fan walking. You know what?
Hey, look, hey, Pastor. No, I was about to get it. Hey, look, read the private messages because I ain't gonna get him on air.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead. Y'all, you know what? Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Before we get started, shout out to Auntie. I don't know if she's in here, but shout out to Auntie.
Yeah.
She rocked bells on this one. I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah. The Thai guy. Sorry.
Okay. My apologies, AD. See, this is like Robin Williams. This is what Robin Williams used to do on the set. He just keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like I had a bona fide comedian. I don't know how good we just like, forget it. Whatever.
He's staying cold. Just for
you know, once they get in their lane, they just can't stop.
You're sweating my stick.
Man. You're so wrong. You're so wrong. Take it away.
I told you.
Sweating my sticker.
Hey, look, I want to call you out on air though.
Get off my sticker. And I just, and
he's gonna get off camera. He's gonna get off camera and pull this and hang.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Y'all know me, man. I'm a real dude. Well, see, the thing is, I just got it yesterday from NFL Top, so I just took it.
Took a while to get.
Can we all lead?
Just show me some old Buck stuff.
I got you. Are we all meant to lead? Buccaneers fans and Cowboy fans alike. Yes.
Hey, they Tampa Bay though. They Tampa Bay.
That's right.
All right. So let me ask y'all. So do you feel like we are all meant to lead? Okay. So I thought about this topic. See, all right, Jay. Stop it.
Bootleg.
You official.
You know what? You know what? Okay.
All right. Let's go. So talk about this topic because of different personalities, different ways you grow up. Like for myself, learning to lead was more later on in life. And I thought about my wife. I thought about Pastor as well, like how you grow up, you know, and the responsibility that was put on you, you know, to be a leader or to like lead, you know, in certain ways. For me, like my parents never put that responsibility on me. So like you had chores, I had responsibilities, but not to like take the lead. Like everything was more a personal thing, you know, like I learned how to be a good worker, you know, but as far as in my household, leading wasn't something that they kind of taught me, you know, so, and not to put it on them because it's not something you think about. Like I need to teach my kid to be a leader, you know, like it's kind of more or less just sometimes how things fall in place, you know. And I thought about, you know, my wife, how she grew up, you know, she was the oldest. So she took on a lot of responsibility when her mother left, you know, or not there or whatever, you know, left like going to work or go, you know, out or whatever. So I think about, you know, is a leadership, is taking the lead something that everybody should be doing? And what I mean more or less in a leadership position, because of, you know, I don't think you're born a leader. I think a lot of times you're taught to be a leader. And do you think everyone is meant to lead? You know, we want our kids to be leaders. We don't want them to be followers.
Right.
But are they to lead a troop? You know, or, you know, because that mentality to me, like as I get older, telling my kids, you know, don't be followers, be leaders. Just I need you to think. You know, when someone tells you something, don't just take it and run with it. But take a minute, listen. Does it make sense? You know, like is it good? Is it a good decision to make? You know, just even if you're following somebody, like even if you're in the church, like I'm following Pastor, like I listen to the words he say, I listen to the way he preaches or whatever. But my amens or agreement are listening and saying, yeah, you know what, I do agree, and not just amen because he's in the position. Cole says, yes, leadership is something we should be doing because the first leader is the person who stares back, I guess, at you in the mirror.
At you in the mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So what's you guys take?
I told them
we all meant to lead.
Yeah, I think we all are meant to lead. I think it's a choice whether or not we want to lead. Me, for the longest time, I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to be in the front. I didn't want to have to be responsible for anything. I wanted to do me terribly. And so I know I was doing bad things for me. I know I couldn't, there's no way in the world I could be a leader to anyone else, try to tell somebody how to do something. So for me, I struggled, but I know that I had to lead as a man, as a father, as a husband and all that. We have to be able to lead. So yes, we're all meant to. We just I think at some points, we struggle and we don't really want to. Like I didn't want to. I didn't want to touch it, you know, back in the day. So yeah, I think we all meant to, but it's a choice whether or not we want to or do.
Okay.
I agree to an extent. But at the same time, well, let me say it this way: there's levels.
Right.
There's levels.
Right.
Because on some levels, yeah, we all are. But then when you step back from your individual life and you start looking at the bigger picture, when you look at community, church, work, so to speak, no, some of us need to shut up and follow. Do what you're told.
Shut up and dribble.
Do what you're told.
I ain't going Tommy Lauren. I ain't going that far.
Shut up and dribble.
But sometimes people don't want to play their position, and sometimes your position is supporting cast, and it's vital. It's it's vital. Yeah. But you ain't calling the shots. You ain't coach. You ain't the point guard. And it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just a design thing. So I think we all are, but there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Pastor.
I mean, I agree with everyone's statement. I think that my point is exactly what Dwayne's is that there's levels to leading.
Yeah.
You know, if you are a sibling, you know, you lead your brothers and sisters if you're older. Yeah. Sometimes even if you're younger. I don't think that you can ever have a mindset that you don't want to be out front if you have a mindset that you want to be a parent of a child.
Right.
Because it begins at home, right? And the first thing is you have to lead yourself down your own path.
That's
right. We know that, you know, God directs our path, but you have to walk it, you know, and I think that anytime you're walking, there should always be an expectation that you're leaving a trail that somebody is going to follow.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always, see, what I've learned in life, two things are guaranteed. You're following someone and someone's following you.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
This is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is true.
Okay. So though, as of course, as men, we lead our households or we head them up. And leadership doesn't always mean you do everything, because there's a level of delegation in all that you do. And that's a trait of leadership, knowing my strong points, knowing what other people in the house are better at. But with that being said, outside of that, in organization, would you say okay, so, and I guess I'm gonna throw out there because I know Dwayne will go there, but I'm gonna go there first. And I've never been in the military, but in the military, is it always a natural progression? Natural, meaning everyone that gets in and stays in generally gets into the leadership levels of positions. Or is it a natural progression for people in the military to get into the leadership positions? The longer they're there,
No, I don't think so. I mean, because if you are in the Army, and Dwayne probably attest to this, but he probably went into the Army going, I'm going to be, what'd you leave the Army as?
7. So first class.
So some people don't have that desire to be an E7 because they know it's testing to become an E4.
No, wait, hold on. I mean to cut you off, brother, but you got to realize you may not leave an E7, but you're not going to leave an E1 unless you do something wrong. So there is a natural progression, right?
They'll put you out if you don't.
If for any reason you're not gaining in rank,
right.
It means you're doing something wrong. But if you just do your job, you're going to get elevated.
Right.
Okay.
It's really just that simple. Now, I'll tell you this: you can get to a point like in the Army, to go from E1 to E4.
Yeah,
that's a natural progression.
Pretty much
from natural. E4 to E5, you have to make a decision.
Yeah, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Because of what you have to go through to get to that.
Right, to get to that point.
Because you have to sit before a board of individuals.
I got you. Now you got to prove, basically.
Right. But the reason why I said it's not natural progression is sometimes some folks just want to get in, do their 4 years and get out. They don't have any desire to do anything else. So that's why I say.
Right, but if you get in there and do your 4 years and get out, you go in as E1, you're more than likely going to leave at a minimum at E4.
At the minimum, yeah.
Okay.
You're right. You're right about that.
Okay, so and with E4, I'm sorry to dig into the weeds of military talk, but E4. Okay, so that's a sergeant.
It's a pay grade,
but it works. It works in anywhere in life. AD.
Yep.
Right. You go start a job day one. You're being trained by someone who has already learned to do the job.
Right.
3 years later, they hire somebody else. You're the trainer.
Right.
You understand? Because if you're doing your job, you're going to have to show someone else how to do the job you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But E4 you're right, Cole. You're right.
So I guess maybe hey, what's up, Keith? Great morning to you. Let me kind of advance the question a little bit then, because we talk about what did you say? Going from E4 to E5 is the
you guys didn't have to go to the E5 board. You didn't have to go to a board.
Okay, so from E4 to E5, you have to go through a point system. And litany of NCO training just to be in position.
Yeah, PLD, you got to go to PLDC to.
Now it's like SLC, no ALC. Now they changed the name.
Oh, it's changed it. Oh, I went to PLDC. So thank you for again reminding me that I'm old. I appreciate that.
I went to PLDC too. I went to PLDC too, but now it's called like ALC and SLC. There's no more BNOC and ANOC.
And I listen to NWA and EPMD.
They just changed the name.
ABC.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
So for those Cole is dropping definitions in the comment. So NCO is
non-commissioned officer. Yes, indeed.
Right.
And then I'm just someone like, what does that mean?
Since y'all laughing at the letters, when I said BNOC and ANOC, all of those things are basic non-commissioned officer course and advanced non-commissioned officer course. So as you promote and you get more responsibility, you get more specialized training. So you have to go through a course. Like you can get promoted and not graduate this course within a certain amount of time. And give me them stripes back.
Yeah.
No, you don't deserve to wear these. You ain't got the qualifications to wear these. So you got to give them back.
Right. So, okay. So I want to advance it a little bit then, because my question, I guess, is a little broader than I was thinking. So leading, yes, you're right. And job, you're right. You in a job 10 years, someone's going to tap you and say, hey, as long as you're not like real janky, at work, they're going to say, hey, I need you to show such and such how to do such and such or whatever the basics of the job, so they understand what to do, because you know what to do and I don't need to be here. You can show them. Once we got the natural progression of gaining experience and showing somebody. So moving into like in work, going from a regular employee, even just getting tapped lead, usually leads, you don't get a rank and pay. You just, hey, we see that you can show people stuff, so keep showing people stuff. But going from there to supervisor, of course, usually takes, hey, I desire this position, sitting in front of somebody for an interview, kind of within the ranks of your job. That's the part that I really want to get into, going from the E4 to the E5, from the ABC to the EFG, so
from getting the follower to the leader.
Right. To really being in position, like to like the titled position. Are we all meant to be in that spot?
So it's kind of like the confirmation hearing.
Yeah, right. In essence, in essence, like
they have to go
choice.
Before,
are we all meant to be there? Because I know the progression when we go, or when someone that goes to work, generally you would think someone's there a long time. They want to get to these promoted levels. That's the thought process. But I worked at Costco for a while, and I know folks that they like have no desire for the promoted levels. Like, good where I'm at, make enough. I don't want the stress of that next level.
Right.
And so do you feel like are we all meant to be at that next level?
Well,
and then why?
Right. What you're saying is you have to be intentional about getting to that next level.
Yeah.
And equally so, you have to be intentional about not getting to that next level.
Right.
You have to do something intentionally to not grow.
Right.
Because growth is a natural progression in every aspect of life.
Right.
You grow. You learn something today that you didn't know yesterday. That's growth. If you don't learn anything, it's because you made a choice to remain ignorant of something. So to me, lack of growth is an intentional thing, and it works against the law of nature. Okay, because I'll tell you, even in I've been in the IT business for 30 years, and I've held positions. I've been a VP, right? I've owned an IT company. I have operated. I've done everything from just being a standard contributor to leadership training and all of that. And where I am right now, someone tried to offer me an opportunity for leadership several years ago, and I declined. Right? Because I said to myself, been there, done that. I don't want the stress. I don't want to herd sheep. I just want to be a contributor because that allows me to do other things in my life without that extra load on me. Yeah. So it was an intentional decision not to take a lead role. Now, I'm still leading. People still come to me. They seek me for advice. They seek me out for guidance. I get the private calls. I do training. I do all of the things. I just don't have that title.
Gotcha.
And what I said is, you give me the title. The title brings with it formal accountability that I care not to have at this point in my life.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
So basically, you look, I don't mind being a spy, going out here and do this work, but just put me in Joshua role and let Moses sit there and chill for a minute.
That Cole has that song stuck in my head. Now.
Well, no, the company has an advantage, right? Because they get all the benefit of me leading and guiding and nurturing and all of those things,
right?
And they don't have to pay me for it,
right. And then you kind of
my advantage is, I don't have to do evaluations. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do all that other stuff, right? Yeah, that I don't want to deal with. I don't want somebody calling me saying, I won't make it to work and I got to fill in. I got to backfill. I don't want to do through trying to hire people with somebody. That's just too stressful.
Yeah,
right.
So Pastor makes a point, AD, and I think this is where you was going anyway. Because in the Army, I can remember not wanting to go from staff sergeant to sergeant first class. I can remember that moment. And the reason I didn't want to go, because as an E6, as a staff sergeant, I was in a leadership role. I was a go-to guy, especially in the shop. But it came with, hey, you got to disengage on the hands-on portion of your job. And we got 60 soldiers that we want you to do some paperwork and keep in order. Now you got to move into the admin role of your job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you love the job, the meat and potatoes of it,
right?
You don't want to go over here to the salad, the dessert, and be the maitre d' and everything else. You still want the food where it's fun, where it's like, this is what I love about the job.
Right.
But now you in another position. It's like, hold on, you can't stay there. You got to let somebody else grow into that position. Now I need you to over here to move into a managerial role. So to answer Cole's question from earlier, I never wanted to be a first sergeant or warrant. I wanted to go warrant after I decided that officers, they were yes men sometimes. I wanted to be a warrant officer, but no, I didn't want the admin role. And in some levels of your job, when you leave a position and get elevated, it's going to cause your whole functionality to change. And some of us is just
a whole
not
other world. Yeah.
And that's why some people run from it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So funny. Pastor said what he said about work. I guess I'd always expect him just to. Yeah, I take that. Give me that. Take that.
Not the Caesar.
Right. I got you.
Here's the thing. I've been with my company 15 years, right? I have gone through 6 bosses.
Wow.
Right? I'm saying that people. I mean, I had a peer that was elevated, and my peer became my boss, and he's no longer with the company.
Wow.
So I'm still here. Praise the Lord. I thank God. But every boss that I had that left, didn't leave because they wanted to.
Wow. Gotcha.
You understand?
Gotcha. Right.
And so I thank God for foresight.
Right. Right.
You understand? Because there's a lot that comes with that. And my thing is this. So when it comes to careers, like there's a difference between owning your business as an entrepreneur and growing in that manner versus a career. Some people aspire to be the president of a company and all of that. And that's all well and good. Some people aspire that, they want to be a director. They want to be a VP. I think all that is great. Right. Having been there, and again, if I had never been in those positions, maybe I'd feel differently. But as a young person growing up, working in Los Angeles and all that kind of stuff, that VP title looks real good on the card, on a business card.
Right. Good talk at a party.
This is what I've learned. I've learned that the only difference between my VP and me is my VP has to give an account for me. I only have to give an account for myself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I know I can control this.
Right.
Said others.
Listen, I remember. I'll never forget this. Back in y'all know I'm long-winded. Back in 1992, I was put in a leadership position.
Okay.
And I had to go through this staffing agency and hire someone to do the job that I was coming out of because I was getting elevated.
Right.
The guy that I hired, his car broke down, and he lived about 10 minutes from me in Champaign, Illinois. So I said, "Hey man, I'll come by and I'll pick you up for work till you get your car back on the road." And a couple of days turned into a week. But here's what happened. I would go pick him up, and he wouldn't be ready to go. He'd be late. Right? And so him being late had me late.
Not cool.
Right.
They don't care about him at that point.
Right.
No, what happened is so a couple of days of that happened, and I'm like, look, man, you can't, you got me late. You gotta get your car fixed, so you gotta be ready to go. And remember this, you're on the clock. Right? You gotta clock in. And I'm your boss. What does it look like? Both of us come in. Man, I'm sorry. I got to, and it got to the point to where I told him, listen, I can't come pick you up.
Right.
I had to stop picking him up.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
He was offended.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Right. So here's the thing. So I go back to work. I'm showing up on time. He's late. And now I have to make a decision about him being late for work.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, well, if you're not here, I can't pay you for the time that you're not here. It's not just that. The fact is, there's a job to do when you're not on time to do the job. When I did that job, I was on time. Right. So I had to, it was the first time I ever had to let somebody go.
Wow.
So I had to let him go. Right.
Wow.
And the day that the new person showed up that I hired, my boss called me into his office and he said, I'm really proud of you, Brian. You showed true leadership. He said, because I'll be honest with you, a couple more days and both of you guys would have been gone.
Wow.
Gee.
You can't take them with you sometimes.
Dang.
But just the fact that it had you been just a little more nice or lenient, you've been out of a job.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then I'd have caught a case.
Look, what Dave Chappelle,
he was like,
what Dave Chappelle said about the 3-game Monty. I don't know if y'all watch it, but he was like, that man looked at me when I said, don't do it, it's rigged. He looked at me and he said, son, don't ever come between a man and feeding his family.
I know that's right.
Right.
That's trouble.
Yes, Cole.
Many people don't see the servant portion of leadership and only are concerned with the power or perceived power aspect of leadership.
Right.
He said, "Now, Pastor."
Wow,
Hey, listen, that was before Jesus.
don't do it, Miss Steely.
That was before Jesus.
Hey, look, so you saying you would have done it differently? Now,
Yeah. Today, I would never avail myself to going and picking them up.
right? But if it
Today, right? I wouldn't do that today because it's not what I've learned in life. When people ask for help,
that's good.
I love that song.
I say this to people. I say, you can count on me to do what I can, but I won't do what I can't.
Right.
Because if I try to do what I'm not supposed to do, then I have put myself in the position of God.
Right.
Hey, you can tell. Look, you can tell she your pastor. I mean, you her pastor.
I had to let my own child go because she tried to take advantage of the situation. Right.
She know that's my sister. That's my sister.
It's fire in these streets, ain't it?
Sister Keita.
Right.
Hey,
you know?
hey, look, she was over there like,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, hey, listen, your first lesson gonna come from me. You fired.
Well, yes.
What you mean?
You gotta get it.
That's tough love. That's tough love. Right. And the thing is, if you continue to do this, they'll continue to take advantage. Right. I know that's real. I told you, I'm not just the president of the hair club for men.
I'm also a client.
I'm also a client. Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's a reputation though. They're like, don't mess with her. She fired her kid.
Because
you know she's gonna fire you. You know you gonna get fired.
Ain't there a verse in the Bible like that somewhere? Something like that. Not about being fired, but if he what's it? It's about Jesus and God. If he didn't, I'm gonna find it.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Yeah. Oh, okay. So we are to be in the position of leadership, and Cole said something we've read and agreed upon about servitude, learning to be a follower, learning to be a servant, helps you have understanding to be a better leader, and not be so power hungry because you understand what it's like to be a follower, and you can respect those that are following behind you or following you or serving you in the position. But do you feel like, so we talk about, are people meant to lead or move into that supervisor position or pastor role and things of that nature? Do you think sometimes we push too much for those to be in that next level? Because we watch people serve hard and they do a great job following. But do you think we push sometimes too much for somebody to be in that next level and it's just not who they are or not meant for them to be?
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It does
break
happen.
it down. I need a breakdown.
Okay. Who you Pastor Brian?
I was
Terry.
Okay. So this is what happened to me. Okay, so as a preacher, my mother and my father were both ministers and pastors, and people automatically assumed because I was a preacher's kid that I was going to be a pastor, and they always pushed me to preach or wanted me to preach, right? So my daddy would push me. You're going to do this every Sunday. It's a Bible verse, or you're going to do a prayer, or you're going to do this, and it was a constant pressure for me. And I was not ready. I remember I was 14 or 15, and my daddy woke up one morning, came in my room and said, "Hey, son, today you're doing your initial sermon." What? I didn't. What? I don't know. What are you talking about? And so he kind of pushed me into that particular realm. So I got up in front of these people. It sounded like a complete boo because I didn't know what I was talking about, because my desire wasn't to be a pastor. Let me just a preacher. Let me just do what I do over here. Let me say my prayers to myself. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, we only had a desire to do it, And so he just kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. And then I embarrassed him one Sunday, and he was like, "Okay, you don't want to be a preacher? Okay, got it." You know, this is after 5 years of you pushing me, you know. But that's what it was. Yeah. So I was pushed into that particular title. I didn't at 15, 16 want to be a preacher. Man, I wanted to go out and get some gas. I want to go have fun, hit the club. You know.
What are you doing now?
Okay, so 15, 16.
Pretending to be a Buccaneers fan.
I was just going to get there was no cost.
There was no need to go there.
There was no need to go there. That wasn't even okay.
But I was just going to throw out there. At what point are you really ready? Like that's the whole point of the process.
I don't.
Because there's never going to be a point where you're going to be ready.
But here's the funny part, D, is that as much as I fought it as a kid, here I am. You know what I'm saying? Right at the cusp, you know, and trying to help people and inspire people and all that good stuff. 16 and 17, when I was being pushed, I didn't want nothing to do with it.
That's because your mind couldn't understand where you were supposed to go, and he already saw the bigger picture. Sometimes pastors see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes they miss it. It happens.
Yeah.
But most of the time they see your trajectory, and they're gonna do everything to help you get there. So the pushing. When I preached the first time, it sounded horrible. Yeah, you ain't never preached before. What you fail to realize about a pastor when most of them preaching, these dudes preach. Pastor, you ever had a moment where you was at a house and nobody around, and God gave you a little nugget real quick, and you started laughing and playing with it and started preaching by yourself?
Listen, when I was in the 8th grade in Chicago, we used to set up a little church in our bedroom, me and my brothers and my cousins, and I would preach when I was in the 8th grade. 1977, something like that. We would have church in the house. And the thing is, I don't remember at that age going to any regular services. We used to listen to church on the radio in Chicago.
Right.
Right. And so I would get up there and just mimic what I heard on the radio.
Right. So
you want to talk about having a form of godliness, but denying the power.
Right. I see that a lot too. Yeah. A lot. Right.
You know, here's the thing. You know, when you talk about leadership, and Terry said something great. When David was chosen, somebody had to pull their Bible. Somebody look up 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 16. 1 Samuel 16. Look up 1 Samuel. This is when David was getting anointed. Look at 1 Samuel. It's got to be in the first 7. Look at verse 7.
Which version? Does it matter?
1 Samuel chapter. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because it's going to mean the same thing. 1 Samuel 16. What does verse 7 say of 1 Samuel 16?
But the Lord said unto Samuel.
Oh, boy, it's a reading. Go on here.
Look not on his countenance.
Read on
the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth as man seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh at the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh at the heart.
Boom. A lot of people fall in love with what it looks like.
Right.
When you're pushing people into something, you do it because it looks good, but you haven't figured out whether or not they have a heart for it.
Right. A
lot of us are chasing stuff. A lot of us push our children into stuff, because it looks good or because I did it. But you got to recognize the heart of a person. Do they have a heart for what you're trying to push them into?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And most people make the mistake because they don't count up the cost. Cole was saying it earlier. They don't think about the servant part of leadership.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. To lead is to serve. To lead is to be available. Right. And a lot of people are operating in leadership positions, but they're not available to those that are supposed to be following them. Woo!
Right.
That's the word right there. You can't get in front of your pastor when you got a problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you call them pastor, you call them spiritual father. I call them a deadbeat daddy.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Right. That's true. As he sips. Hey, Cheryl, Sportslight Lady. Good morning to you.
Hey, on Twitch. What's up? We got
Yeah.
watching on
Yes.
Twitch.
Oh yeah.
All my Periscope people. If you were part of Periscope, you
and see, Pastor, that's because not everybody is leadership development minded.
Yeah.
You made a comment many times on several shows that has stuck with me, and you said Moses developed Joshua. Now,
Yes.
Joshua wasn't the only person in that pool, but Joshua got developed.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there was and I'm pretty sure there was some trial and error in there, some things that Joshua had to grab, some things that he was taught, some things were caught. But either way, that mentoring and that development was there.
Yes.
And that's the thing that good leaders grab onto.
Sure.
They understand how the difference between developing AD, Terry, and myself. Mm-hmm. They can see strengths and know, okay, I got to make Terry laugh. Right. I just got to be grown man and manhandle Dwayne.
Yeah.
AD gonna fall in line.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like parenting. It's like parenting.
Personalities are different. Yeah.
Absolutely. And good leaders, they understand that. One of the best people that I had as far as an officer enlisted in the military sometimes can butt heads because officers got a degree and come in the highest ranking thing in the room and don't know nothing sometimes.
Yeah.
And on paper. And then the enlisted side, you know the job, but you ain't got you don't have the official ROTC or whatever. So I had an officer in Korea. He came in and he was in the band before he went OCS and became an officer. And he was like, Sergeant Goodson, I realize that I don't know anything. You tell me what I need to do. And he was like, I'll make sure the buffer zone between you and the upper echelon is clear.
Yep.
We didn't have no problems because he recognized that even though he was in charge, I had the keys to everything he needed.
Right.
And it was a beautiful thing. So sometimes it's just recognizing what everybody brings to the table and how to get the best output.
Right.
Well, I know he wasn't from West Point.
No.
I think a lot of times, and to Pastor's point about, having people in the right position. And I think sometimes even ministry work in your own household, sometimes our narrow view of progression can be putting somebody in a place that they're not supposed to be in. And what I mean by that is, like I see something great in Terry, so the natural progression is moving up to minister, let him preach. But that may not be it. His thing may be to go out and just share the word to people individually, right. And because either because of the way my ministry is set up or because of how I've always thought, my narrow focus is this is the natural progression when you're working hard.
Right.
Every position is it, that's not your natural progression. You're supposed to do something else. And I think that's where we kind of miss the mark. And we get people that are supposed to be out and they're in preaching, and they think they're supposed to be a pastor and they move into the pastorship and it's rough and they're not a great pastor because that's not where they should be, and it's crazy. Like I've been to a lot of smaller churches and, even coming to Solomon's Temple, I'm like, man, I know pastors that if they came to Solomon's Temple, would be great in a particular department. They could, Solomon's Temple would be huge. Pastor, he has the anointing that I see, to kind of handle each department, be a CEO. But I know folks that will be great managers over the evangelists. That'll be a great manager over like Sunday school. Like I have a pastor in New York, like if you gave him Sunday school, he would just rock it. Like lessons, like that's his thing. But you know, you feel like the natural progression is pastorship, and I think that's what messes us up. You know, it's just
everybody has a ceiling.
Yeah, it's like this is you need to hone in on this, like become the greatest Sunday school teacher or greatest choir director. Like this is your spot, you know, that you're designed to do, you know, and you may drift in certain areas, but this is where you should hone in on what's inside of you. So
you said something. You said something. I love what you just said, because I think that you were just talking about the church. I think that in the church, and maybe this is in other areas, because it happens, I think, in law enforcement when you have generational law enforcement.
Right.
I'm a cop, so my son's going to be a cop. I'm a cop because my daddy was a cop. I'm a cop because my granddaddy was a cop. Oh, you're not a cop because you want to protect and serve? You're a cop because your father was a cop. Right. And so that, to me, is the disconnect between culture and calling. Right? Some people miss their calling because they're wrapped up in a culture. Yes. And that's the mistake that people make in their lives. You know, you just made something, you know, when I made the decision that I was not going to accept a leadership position in my job, even though I do leadership things, there's a lot of leadership behavioral patterns that I have. It was a decision that went like this. I am going to be more valuable to this organization architecting solutions than I will ever be leading in this company. That doesn't mean that I'm not a leader, right? It means I'm just not going to do that here formally. I'm not going to carry that title here. Right. And when we make that mistake, I'm going to do it just because the opportunity is there. I'm going to do it just because somebody else did it. I'm going to do it because they told me I should. That's confusing a cultural behavior with what is your specific calling. And that can cripple you. It can really cripple you. Yeah. And it's something that I think parents are guilty of when we deal with our children.
Yes.
You want me to go to an Ivy League school?
You know,
Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan, had to go through counseling.
Right. Because he couldn't do what father did.
He wasn't his daddy on the court.
Right.
He literally had to go through counseling. Because, Michael Jordan, your daddy, hey, you at least a professional player, at least.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to be all-star, but some of them teams got to fall in somewhere.
That's a lot of pressure right there.
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, because
it's a whole lot of pressure.
Even Michael Jordan, his boys play down there at Central Florida.
Yeah, one of them played at Central Florida.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So answer this question: who's the greatest right now? The greatest shooter in NBA history?
Steph Curry.
I was thinking that too.
How many All-Star teams did his father make?
Maybe 3. I think Dale might have made 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Where is Dale in the record books?
Oh, he's somebody that fans of the game will know who he is, but outside of that,
you don't know. Right.
Wow.
So it stands to reason that Steph plays for the love of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not because his father played.
Right.
You can't be who Steph Curry is if you're doing it because your daddy did it.
Right.
That's true.
So what's amazing to me, you know, when you think about Doc Rivers and his generation, right? What I'm saying is certain people, it's got to do with culture, but it also has to do with calling.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the question is, were you forced into it? Doc Rivers will tell you he didn't make his son play basketball. Del Curry's children had options. They chose to do this.
I will say there's probably one anomaly. I don't know if everybody's thinking about it, probably watching. I thought about Tiger Woods. Like, I mean, you know, there's always, I feel like he got pushed in. I mean, like, he loves it. He might love it now, but you know,
the Williams sisters, their father said, to the mother,
Right.
we're going to have some children, and they're going to be professional tennis players.
Wow.
And we're going to be rich.
So there are some that can become great, but I think.
But here's the thing. But the difference is
choosing.
The difference is the culture was different, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not playing because their father played. They didn't play because their mother played.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
They grew up in a culture that was designed for them. And what I'm saying is that's a different kind of environment.
That's true. That's true. Because
just like Tiger Woods, it's a different type of environment. So Tiger Woods fell in love with the game, not because of his father's accomplishments for the game. His father taught him to love the game.
Right.
And it probably had at least in the beginning parts of bonding was happening. So it was like, this is our time to hang out. We out here hours, a little tired, but we're gonna keep going.
But they had fun.
Right, they did. Yeah. I'm sure in the beginning, at least, it was a lot of fun. You're right.
Larry Bird said, Larry Bird tried coaching and said, "Man, I can't be no coach because they can't be me."
Right.
Wow. He couldn't. He had to quit coaching because they didn't have the same. That's why Michael Jordan couldn't. Michael Jordan ruined one young boy, the first number 1 draft pick. With the
Washington Wizards. With the Washington Wizards.
He ruined that kid.
Kwame Brown.
Really? Yeah, Kwame Brown.
He ruined him.
Wow.
He did.
Imagine them shoes. 6-time champion Air Jordan, the greatest of all time, even at that moment. Yeah. And he your old man on the team.
Yeah. You used to fight for your shoes, bro. You used to fight in the program behind your shoes.
Wow. I didn't realize it. He tried to push him.
He pushed him too hard.
As a matter of fact, I was watching Gilbert Arenas talk about this yesterday. And Gilbert Arenas said that he got brought to the Washington Wizards because Michael Jordan had probably single-handedly alienated everybody in the franchise because all these young players didn't realize that this was what greatness looked like up close and personal, getting to the next level. They thought it was supposed to be a cakewalk, and when he talked to them like he was talking to Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen, these people with rings, they couldn't take it because they weren't ready for it. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, he hurt my feelings." So they wanted him out. So that's why they brought in Gilbert Arenas and gave him $111 million contract to get rid of Jordan, basically.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
That makes sense. Find the balance.
That makes sense. You're right.
People want your message, but they ain't want none of the mess that it took for you to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want these blues though. I'm gonna get to you. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Totally understand that. And
I've been practicing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the thought.
So we have to be careful. We just have to be careful. I think we're all designed to lead, but to Dwayne's earlier point, the first point you made on this call today is there's levels to this.
Right.
And you've got to understand the levels that you were designed to operate in. And it's that old adage, stay in your lane.
Stay in there.
Yeah.
Stay. Stop moving. We're talking about calling. I do want to share this though before we go. Your calling ain't for everybody. It was for you. It wasn't a conference call. I'm just saying. Look, everybody ain't gonna understand it. Your calling is your calling. Everybody's ain't gonna understand.
It was about to be like.
I mean, I think the caveat to that though is you're right. So the calling guy called you, but I'm not rolling up the pastor like, "Hey, pastor, it's my turn." He called me. There has to be. There's and I'm not sure if I'm using the right word, but there's like a validation of it, I guess, in a sense. Like Mike can't be great unless we see him be great. Saying like so I got it in me, but someone has to see it come out. That makes sense?
It shouldn't be a surprise. Is the point.
Right.
I was having a conversation. One of my I got a preacher friend who called me just last night, and he shared something with me about an opportunity that was presenting itself to him. And I had told him, several years ago that I could see him, pastoring. And and he called me and he said, I haven't told anybody this. I can tell y'all because you guys don't know who it is. And he said, my pastor asked me to put my information together because he wanted to submit my name for a pastoring opportunity. Right. And I said, oh man, and I was just overjoyed. I was so proud. Right.
Right.
And he went on to say that, I wrote the letter and I put my information together and I put down, it is out of sheer obedience that I'm even submitting my name. And he sent that to his pastor, and the pastor was like, no, I don't need you to put it like that. I just needed the information because I'm going to send a letter with it. I'm recommending you for this. Wow. Right. Wow. And it reminded me. And so my point is that, right, it should not be a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to you, and it shouldn't be a surprise to your leader if you're connected to your leader. Right. Make sense? Yeah. And that's what I love about Moses and Joshua. But it's also what I love about Moses and the Lord, because the Lord told Moses, you're going to go, but I'm going with you. Right. So the endorsement is going with you. And I love that because with Joshua, God had empowered Moses, anointed Moses to lead. But when Moses called Joshua's name, Moses was endorsing Joshua. And no one was going to question Joshua because Moses is the one who stood him up and said, go. Right. So to your earlier point, AD, it's because Joshua had leadership equity, I think is the point you were looking for earlier. Yeah. With Moses, he had already proven himself. So that's what we have to recognize. That's why it's important to be properly connected to leadership, properly connected with people who support you and who love you. It should not be a shock to anyone.
Yeah,
it's always going to be a confirmation to those that are connected to you. Right. That's the thing that you have to recognize. So when leadership comes whether you're in the military or whether you work in a Burger King, I don't care where you are. I worked at a McDonald's, and I'll never forget that I was making some burgers and I was putting the ketchup and the pickle, the ketchup and the mustard and the little sprinkle of onions on the burger. And the manager came to me and said out loud, now that's example. I'm just making a burger. That's example. Right. Look at how carefully and meticulously he wants to make sure that the pickles are properly centered on the burger. He wants to make sure that the mustard and ketchup has the right amount. That's someone that can show someone else. And what I'm saying is, whatever you do it well. Right. And people are going to take notice of what you're doing. That's all that has to matter. You can trust and believe somebody's watching you at all times. You may not think they are, but they are. And there's always going to be an evolution if you just do the job and do it well.
Definitely. Hey, real quick before we get out of here, Facebook is doing what Facebook does, and they shut down on my comments, and people have been making Facebook comments that we don't see. So I'm gonna read some of them. Right, I'm reading. I was like, this always jumping in there. So Dr. Rollins said sometimes it's not just the individual isn't ready or is not supposed to be in that position. Sometimes it's the environment that isn't nurturing the gift. Cole Johnson also said yes. Address wanting to be a leader because it's family business. Cole also said, look at Jesse Jackson Jr. as the prime example of how the leadership of his father can cripple him. Let's see. Cole also mentioned about Steph Curry, and Del Curry was an awesome shooter in his own right. This one right here. Cole said, I'm going to get us out of the hood in Gary, Indiana. He and the rest of the family was blessed with one of the sons being a genius entertainer. Truth. Marine says, stay in your lane. And Cole said, my wife says the best way to be at a job to manage up as well as manage down. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. We're going to get ready to get out of here. So I appreciate you guys rocking with us.
Comments down. That's great.
Yeah.
When is doing that?
Facebook just shut down. I mean, I think somehow StreamYard and Facebook disconnects.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I stopped using them. I had like 50 comments on I was doing a video one time and I was just like, there's some good stuff right here.
Right.
I had like 50 comments. But I only saw 2. And I was like, God, I was like, next time you tell me to say something, just have somebody in the building.
Yeah.
I thought I was by myself.
Right. You're just like, well, it is what it is. All right. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, Freestyle Friday. We got a game coming up.
I just want to tell y'all something before I go, man. I'll be missing y'all.
Yeah,
now that
man.
I only get to do 2 shows a week, man. I'll be like, man, I'll be sick. I kind of jump on like a Freestyle Friday or something when I'm at work, but it ain't like sitting in my own studio doing this with y'all. So it's kind of
doing your own thing.
I miss y'all, man. I promise.
Yes, indeed. Miss you too.
So,
all right, guys.
So a seat at the table.
Seat at the table.
So we're gonna need y'all to bring all of your knowledge of Black history and great voices of our generations.
Yes.
Well, come on through here. Who invented the spot? Who invented the stoplight? Come on through.
A seat at the table. Is that? Did I just hear you say that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. See, that's what I was looking for right there, AD. You see that? Hey, look, I ain't finna cake up nothing for y'all, but I'm gonna tell you, the winner of the game. So share and bring your people. The winner of the game. Yes. You're gonna get $10 in your Cash App from your boy.
Oh snap! So listen. Let's level that up. I need you to be a part. You have to go to Text Brothers to 84576. You cannot win unless you're part of the text chain. Text Brothers to 84576. If you haven't done so, do so. I have some folks on there. Make sure you finish your sign up so I get your name and email, because some numbers up. They don't have names and emails. So if you've signed up and you haven't completed it to get your name and email, I need that. So text Brothers to 84576. Sound like a DJ, right? 84576.
I told you got radio voice, bro.
Right. So make sure you be a part of that. And you have an opportunity to win. That's the only way that we would consider. You got to be on the text. So text Brothers at 84576 and play the game tomorrow. And we will select the winner, and we will send you. We'll ask for that Cash App, and we'll hit you off with that. All right, that's it. That's all.
That's it.
All right. Any closing remarks before we go? In closing, Pastor, would you like to say something?
Terry missed a sticker.
All right, guys.
That's good.
I know that we love you. We'll see you in the AM.
I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another edition. Good morning.